Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk live on YouTube and StreamYard.com. It is Golem F. Michael Fletcher alongside Anthony Florio. I must apologize, guys, because I know you guys have been wondering, where's MF? Where's MF? He's been gone for the last couple of shows. What's going on? Don't worry, guys. It's just that there's been some craziness going on, work commitments beyond my control. That's been the real thing. That's been going on. Just life got a little crazy for me for the last week or so. So I'm back. No, nothing to worry about. Everything's good. Thank you, Anthony Florio, for holding down the fort for the last couple of shows. And I'm back and I'm ready to go, geared up as always. So you guys know the routine. Me and Anthony will dive into TNA Impact first. Then we will parlay that into Smackdown Live, the first Smackdown since WrestleMania. You could say this is the show after Mania. And boy, do we got some stuff to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. You thought Monday Night Raw had some stuff to talk about. SmackDown turned around and there was some good stuff on their show too. So we'll get into this. Obviously, TNA Impact starts it off. This is the go home show for Rebellion. And oh, by the way, at some point tonight, we'll get into the Rebellion preview as well. That will be going down. So let's start off with TNA Impact. Obviously, we start out with the tribute for Steve Mongo McMichael. I know Anthony talked about it a couple of days ago, and I want to express my thoughts and prayers to the McMichael family. This guy was an absolute beast. Really good football player, one of the pillars of the '85 Chicago Bears during his time. Unfortunately, and was an all right wrestler, obviously in WCW, member of the Four Horsemen. I know a lot of people weren't really too fond of his wrestling ability. However, still nonetheless, McMichael, Hall of Famer in the NFL, just this past year, was enshrined into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Well deserved, great honor for him. And unfortunately, he did indeed pass away last week. So, like I said, my thoughts and prayers are with Steve McMichael and his family, as always. And we do start it off with Trey Miguel and Ace Austin. They went up against two members of the system, the Moose and JDC. And when it was all said and done, the system winning the match in 8 minutes and 47 seconds. It was all right. It was a solid opener. About maybe 2.25 stars. There wasn't really anything that really stood out that would have said, wow, this was incredible. But it was still a good matchup. Nothing more to add. Anthony Florio, come on in. It is all yours, my friend.
All right. First things first, welcome back, MF. We missed you. Glad to have you back. And nothing left for me to say except we're going to have some fun tonight, especially with the ending of SmackDown. Stay tuned. But anyways, yeah, that's about 2.5, 2.75 of a star. It was a simple to the point match here with the big heel stable getting a win on the way to Moose's title defense in the match where he could lose the title without taking a fall. The match is going to be such a huge mess, that Ultimate X match that is. And this was an interesting way to get there, along with the system getting involved and likely annoying Ace Austin and Trey Miguel. They might want some revenge on Brian Myers, which is a fine way to go. So that's about 2.5, 2.75 of a star there. So with that being said, let's move on to our next match.
All right, and there was a lot of promo stuff after that, but the next relevant match that we had was Rosemary going one-on-one with NXT-owned Fatal Influence member JC Jane, and it was JC Jane winning the match in 5 minutes and 1 second. Anthony, it's yours.
Another 2.25, 2.5. It's not a bad match, but the NXT stars coming in are just kind of there these days. Having JC Jane win is fine, and you can guess on the idea of who Rosemary will get to help her fight Fatal Influence. Not much to the match, but it did set up something. This Sunday, as part of Rebellion, we're gonna have a 6 knockout tag team matchup: Rosemary Xia Brookside, and trying to Lei Ying Lee. That's right. Um, Rosemary, Lei Ying Lee, Xia Brookside will square off against all three members of Fatal Influence: Fallon Henley, JC Jane, and Jasmine Nix this Sunday at Rebellion. So we'll see how that goes. So that was about 2.25, 2.5 for me. MF, your thoughts?
2.25, no doubt about it. Total agreement. There was really nothing more to add on that one. More promo stuff after that. The next relevant match we had was Tessa Blanchard versus Missa Kate. And it was Tessa Blanchard winning in 417. There wasn't really anything amazing about it. It was just a 2-star bout. It's just Tessa working the motions, keeping the momentum going. Obviously, her big title fight on Sunday against Masha Slamovich. And oh, by the way, Masha showed up and basically went after her after the match was over. So there's really nothing left to say here more than anything else. And yeah, Anthony Floyd, it is yours.
Yeah, 2 stars. This was Tessa Blanchard squashing someone on the way to her major showdown with the seemingly unstoppable Knockouts champion. It's a simple story, and Blanchard looked like a killer out there. Blanchard versus Masha should be a hell of a fight and one of the biggest matches at Rebellion, and the bill has been pretty good. You'll get our thoughts on that in a little while after we do the Smackdown, of course. So 2 stars. It was basically a showcase for Tessa. So not much more to say. Let's move on.
Main event of the TNA Impact, Frankie Kazarian and NXT's own All Ego Ethan Page going up against Elijah and TNA World Heavyweight Champion Joe Hendry. When it was all said and done, it was the Face Squad. Elijah and Joe Hendry winning the match 14 minutes, 22 seconds. Anthony Flair, I think we got ourselves the fight of the night.
Yes, we do. 3.5 stars. They had a nice enough match here, and it gives us a bit of drama for the World Heavyweight Championship triple threat on Sunday. Joe Hendry's shoulder could be a problem at Rebellion, and Ethan Page walking out on Frankie Kazarian is completely on point for him. While it's hard to imagine a title change, there is always the chance of a curveball, and Henry's shoulder could play a big role in getting us there. So not much more to say on that. 3.5 stars. Fight of the night for me. Not much more to say. MF, your thoughts?
Yeah, 3.5. Fight of the night, no doubt about it. Total agreement with everything you said. Yeah, that definitely Joe Hendry. Maybe he might be dinged up, with everything that's been going on, especially running through NXT. He appeared at WrestleMania. We all know that. The match with Randy Orton. I know a lot of people were very down on the match, but trust me, Joe Hendry became a bigger star coming out of WrestleMania. Like, you have no idea the star power and what people are saying, especially in WWE. They feel like he did incredible. He got over. You've been hearing words from John Cena putting him over, Randy Orton putting him over. If you listen to the Busted Open Radio podcast, that's on Sirius XM, they had Joe Hendry, and they had Tommy Dreamer, Bully Ray, Don LaGreca, and they were singing the praises, how great it was, and the whole 9 yards. And even Joe Hendry was such a good sport about it. I'm telling you guys, Joe Hendry stock rose after WrestleMania. And as much, he showed up again on NXT on Tuesday night, which even I did not expect. He totally caught me off guard seeing him on Tuesday night. So, no, Joe Hendry has definitely been working the circuit, as they say. But when you do that, you leave yourself with possible wear and tear. And like you said, Anthony, that might come back to bite him, especially when you got a big triple threat title fight coming up on Sunday night. So we'll see if that does. Overall review, look, it's a paid by numbers show. It wasn't really anything amazing. It was very, very, very promo heavy on the show. You only had 4 matches total, folks. So obviously the in-ring work, it wasn't there. Nope, I'm gonna say that was bad. However, there is some Easter eggs of certain storylines that's gonna get you compelled at Rebellion, especially the Nimitz and the Hardys.
Yes.
There was a little bit of, you can say, some teases. Willow, Brother Nero, is it possible? Could we be going back into the? Could we be going back to the wicked craziness, the psycho world of the Hardy compound? Are we about to get the broken one and Brother Nero?
Yeah.
Is it possible? Is that where TNA might be heading? Is that the direction that the Hardys might be going? Could we get the broken one and Brother Nero fighting the Nemesis at Rebellion? Oh, dude, I'm telling you, the Nero part got me. The Willow part got me thinking. Oh no, I don't think I don't think Ryan and Nick Nemeth has any idea what's about to happen if Willow or Brother Nero or Broken Matt Hardy shows up. It's one thing if it's the regular Hardy Boys, but if it's Broken Matt Hardy and Brother Nero, I think it's cast aside away and class myself as obsolete. So I don't know. We'll see. Anthony, it's yours. This is more or less like I'm gonna go 5 out of 10. I think it was a 50-50 show.
Fair enough. But thing is, that Hardy compound stuff. Where do I start with that? I mean, Willow, the Jeff Hardy's alter ego, Willow. When you go to the Hardy compound, you can't go to the Hardy compound and not get at least one moment with my boy, Senor Benjamin.
Yes.
And of course, the beautiful Queen Rebecca. Oof. Still playing that piano, man. I mean, she can tickle those ivories, man. Let me tell you. Oh my goodness.
She's a good piano player. She's really good. Yep.
And of course, you had the little ones. You had the youngins, Maxwell, Wolfgang, Bartholomew, and Little Evie.
Yes.
They got 4 of them now. So, oh my goodness. I mean, that was the part I was looking most forward to on that show last night. And I was like, as soon as that video was uploaded to YouTube, I got to send it to MF and Bullock so they can see it. And I hope you had a chance to see it, MF, because that was, oh my God.
I haven't seen it, but I've seen bits and pieces of it. I've seen actual still shots and clips, especially the Willow, and that's the moment where I'm like, ugh. Like I froze. I literally froze because I'm like, oh no, they're not going there.
Oh, they went there.
Yeah,
they went there, and they turned Ryan Nemeth into a goth, and one of our favorite songs from back in the day, one of your favorite songs actually, "Simple Plan," the perfect song. I mean, you heard that in the background. I mean, just unbelievable amazingness. But I'm not as harsh on the show as you were, MF. I'm actually gonna be a little more generous with this. I'm gonna give this about 6.5 to 7 because I thought there was some good stuff on the show. The Hardy compound was the usual Hardy silliness, and it had its moments. You'll either love it like me and MF, or you'll hate it, and there's no in between. I love Masha's post-match beatdown of Tessa Blanchard as it looks so real. Even security was trying to pull Masha off of her. And Masha attacking the Gestapo security guards looked good and not like your typically produced wrestling beatdown. Another standout moment, Mike Santana. I can't say it enough. Mike Santana's promo was fantastic, and he's done a great job as the babyface of this program with a tweener presentation. The Ali and Santana stuff has consistently been among the best parts of the show. And did you notice Trey Miguel made a call to Sean Waltman, X-Pac?
Yeah.
And I wonder if he'll show up with his TNA theme or his WWE one. And it would be cool to see WWE legends show up every now and then with their WWE entrance themes, now that TNA is in a working partnership with WWE, NXT. So for me, this was a 6.5 to 7 out of 10. My like I said, my favorite part was the Hardy compound with the Nemets, and also that Mike Santana promo, just absolutely brilliant. Go out of your way to see that as well. So there isn't much more to say. And now we move on to the Dickies Arena, Fort Worth, Texas. Friday Night Smackdown, the Smackdown fallout from WrestleMania, with an ending, with a main event that I'm still trying to recover from. Oh my God.
Yeah. All right. So let's say this. Okay. So we're gonna start it out promo segment with the WWE champion John Cena interrupted by Randy Orton, and this was good. This was really good. Cena, well, Randy tried to poke the bear. He tried to rip about Cena, about, what about the kids? What about the thing and everything else? And he told Cena, you know what, man? This is what you should do. I know you're married. Have kids of your own, man. Just have the kids. It's going to change your life, man. I have 4, and it changed mine. It changed my perspective. It changed my attitude. It changed my everything. Just have children and just be, and it's going to change you, man. Cena revolted on Randy Orton on that, basically saying, how dare you? And calling him a hypocrite and everything else. It got lively. So Orton basically challenged him and basically like, you know what, man? I'm trying to reason with you. I'm trying to get into your head, trying to figure out what is going on. You're not going to do it? Fine. Then I don't know what to do. And they made it official. Yes, it's going to happen. Backlash, St. Louis, in 2 weeks. It will be John Cena versus Randy Orton for the undisputed WWE title on the line. And, well, Anthony Florio, man, I mean, we knew the Cena versus Cody promos leading up to Mania were absolutely amazing. Orton and Cena. You know that rivalry very well. You know and I know. Going back to our Raw chat days and everything else. The sadistic Orton, the babyface Cena. It feels weird as the roles are reversed, where now Cena's the heel, Orton's the babyface. But oh boy, did they set off a powder keg tonight. This was really good.
Before I give you my thoughts, MF, I'm very curious. When it comes to you, where does your loyalty lie when it comes to this? Because we all know you've been very high on John Cena ever since the heel turn. You've been very high on Cena. But then again, you've always been a Randy Orton guy. Where does your heart lie in this one?
Oof, man. You know what? I don't know. I mean, this is one of those that, like, I get where Cena's coming from, And everything he said up to this point has been a lot of gospel. And it's gotten more than a few people upset with me about what I feel about how Cena's been cutting the promos and the whole 9 yards. Randy Orton, though, I mean, this guy's the Predator. He's kind of like me in a way, where, and you've noticed that my cerebral viper come out more. It's because of Orton, not, that venom, that attitude. So it's kind of more of a, damn if you are, damn if you're not. But right now, oh, I don't know, man. I really don't know. I mean, it's going it's both ways. I don't know which side to ride on, but man, I'm just having the blast just with this storyline. That's all I can say.
All right, fair enough. So I know we'll cross that bridge again, in a couple of weeks when we preview it. But,
yes.
But anyways, seeing John Cena and Randy Orton interact is nothing new. In fact, we have seen them fight more than almost anyone else in WWE. But seeing them work with a different dynamic like this was interesting. Randy Orton as the babyface and John Cena as the heel made it feel fresh. And I thought this was better than Cena's promo on Raw by a decent margin. John Cena, he got on the ring announcer, Mark Nash, once again. He made Mark Nash give a different introduction once he got to the ring. Cena stood right in front of him as he gave the new intro. And Cena's line about Orton being frozen at 14 title reigns makes no sense, because it was never just one world title in WWE while he was a champion. But this was a very good segment, and I know there were a lot of people are saying, "Oh, Cena and Orton again, really?" Well, that was back in the old days, when Cena and Orton would get shoved down our throats so many times.
But this has been a long time. This has been a long time coming.
Yes, and I remember years ago. We all remember Royal Rumble, the 2014 Royal Rumble, when Randy Orton was the face of the WWE with the Authority and defending the WWE World Heavyweight Championship against John Cena. That crowd in Pittsburgh poo-pooed all over that match and then some. Daniel Bryan chants, CM Punk chants, and the whole 9 yards. But come 2 weeks from St. Louis, they're not going to be doing that at all. They're not. Because they found a way to make it fresh, like I said. With the roles reversed, it absolutely, positively changes the dynamic, makes this rivalry feel fresh, and all those people who crapped all over this rivalry after it was getting shoved down our throats for many years back in the day, back in the early PG era days, in the early 2010s and whatnot. Oh no. In 2 weeks, this could probably be maybe the most exciting and most anticipated Cena-Orton match ever. With Cena the heel, Orton the babyface, and Randy Orton literally with a home field advantage. St. Louis, Missouri. The Enterprise Center. I mean, the home of the Blues. That pop, when he comes out, that pop is going to be like if the Blues had won the Stanley Cup in Enterprise Center.
Yeah.
I mean, that is going to be nuts. I cannot wait. It's going to be great. My early projection is Cena will find a way to win. He's probably going to find nefarious means. Not sure if Travis Scott could be the difference maker like he was at Mania, but we'll see. But at the end of the day, it's exciting. I'm looking forward to it. And I can honestly say it's the most excited I've been about a Cena Orton match since their very first one all the way back at SummerSlam of 2007. What else is there to say? Let's move on.
All right. So with that said, we do move on, and it's to the first fight of the evening, as it was. Let me see if I can find it. It was Yes, a surprise, a big surprise from NXT. Fraxium, Nathan Frazier and Axiom going up against Los Garza, Angel and Berthel, and it was Fraxium winning the match in 8 minutes and 20 seconds. Anthony Florio, it is all yours.
NMF, I can now officially confirm Nathan Frazier and Axiom are SmackDown bound, brother. You got them. The best tag team in professional wrestling right now are officially Team Blue.
And I know one thing for sure. A couple of my friends on the Discord is like, man, why is the guy not going to Monday Night Raw? Like, Raw needs the tag teams. That thing, SmackDown is right in the closet right now. They got the best tag teams. And oh, by the way, that is true. Just wait till you hear what we say about the main event tonight. But go ahead.
Oh my goodness. But 8:20. 2.5, 2 3/4. The crowd chanted, "This is awesome," as the two pairs of aerial artists did what they do best. This was an exciting match that showcased the abilities of all four men well. Almost every single thing they did was executed perfectly. Joe Tessitore called this their SmackDown debut. So there's no question about it. We're going to be seeing more of the former NXT Tag Team Champions in the future, and that's obviously why Nathan Frazier and Axiom dropped the NXT Tag Team Championship to Hank and Tank at Stand and Deliver. So the way Axiom fell out of the ring when Angel low bridged him looked painful. Angel super kick as Frazier was going for a moonsault looked awesome. Both of these teams are really great at timing spots, so they look the best that they can. I think I'm actually going to be a little more generous on this. I'm actually going to give this 3 stars for the effort, and call it a more than fun little sprint. So, not much more to say. MF, man, lucky you. Fraxium on top of the Street Profits, DIY, Motor City Machine Guns. Yeah, your tag team division blows Raws way out of the water.
The division's getting tight, and they're closing. And the thing is, the more teams you add and everything else, and a lot of people's like, there must be a reset at some point. Well, the draft is coming at some point. We don't know when, but I know Monday Night Raw is desperately crying for the draft to be coming sooner rather than later, because, like you said, the tag team division right now, it is definitely pro SmackDown. Like, SmackDown definitely more than anything else. But, it was solid for what it was worth. It was really good. Yeah, I'll give it 3 stars. I'll give it the 3. I'll give it. So, nothing more to say. Next up we had was Tiffany Stratton cutting a promo, interrupted by Jay Cargill, of all people. She basically said Tiffany cut it. She starts giving the credit where credit's due, but then she was looking for a fight with the champ. Tiffany's not going to duck and hide, so we had a non-title match. Jay Cargill, Tiffany Stratton. Unfortunately, the fight gets thrown out in 8 minutes. Naomi hit the ring, causing the DQ finish, and then Nia Jax showed up and jumped Tiff. It was not Tiffy time. Nia snuffed out that quick, and Jade and Naomi, their rivalry ain't over, and Nia wants her belt back. That's what that tells me. Oh boy, the women's division just went from 0 to 1,000 here tonight. 2 big shockers. No big surprise. Naomi's not done with Jay Cargill, but Anthony Florio, Nia Jax is back, and she wants her belt back from Tiffany Stratton. So, I don't know what to do, because there was a moment where you got a "This is awesome" chant. The fans were eating it up, but the fight ends in a DQ. And at 8 minutes, I don't know where to go with this. I don't want to say NA, but it might be an NA. It is at least 2.5 to 2 3/4.
2.5. Yeah, 2.5, 2 3/4. These two have a little experience. Hold on one second here. Yeah, Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill had a slight size and power advantage, but not by much. Tiffany Stratton is a strong competitor and made sure to let Jade know she was not going to be pushed around. These two have a little experience working together, but you can see that lack of chemistry in a few places. They still made most of what they did look good, but the things that didn't work stood out a bit. Sometimes when two people are getting used to working together, a lack of smoothness can make things look more competitive, which happened a few times here. And that's all there is to say there. Tiffany Stratton has done a good job playing a babyface without suddenly sucking up to the crowd out of nowhere. She is basically the same person she always was, but she is fighting heels instead of faces. It's for the best because she is not the kind of character who should be sucking up to the fans. It looked like Jade Cargill had trouble getting Tiffany up for a vertical suplex, so they abandoned it and went for a roll-up. It was a good recovery and looked almost intentional. And the superplex spot looked good. 2.5, 2 3/4. Not much more to say. MF, set me up for whatever's next.
All right. Next up we had was a promo by the new United States Heavyweight Champion Jacob Fatu, but it was Solo Sikoa who started first. Then Jacob got the mic, only to be interrupted by LA Knight, who is looking to get a shot at the belt again. But then a new person came to the party. None other than Drew McIntyre. Anthony. Whoa.
Hey.
McIntyre joining the fray. It looks like we got a new seat at the dinner table.
Absolutely. This was an entertaining segment and set up a few potential directions WWE can go with Jacob Fatu's title reign. What we heard was very paint by numbers, but all four men made it work. The crowd chanting Jacob Fatu's name after his music stopped was a nice moment. The fans were absolutely loving Jacob Fatu. WWE would be wise to play into this and build more tension with Solo Sikoa before they have a match. And LA Knight was especially funny in this segment. He has good chemistry on the mic with just about anyone. And then one thing led to another, and General Manager Nick Aldis came out and offered to book a match between LA Knight and Drew McIntyre, with the winner getting the first shot at Jacob Fatu and the United States Heavyweight Championship. The crowd loved that idea. I love that idea. MF loved that idea. So with that, MF, let's get into that aforementioned matchup.
Well, hold.
Well, actually, it was later on. That's right.
It was later on. However, we will get there. But we did have one other. We did have one other thing that we got to get into. Yes.
Oh, here we go.
The Women's United States Championship matchup. The challenger, Zelina Vega. The champion, Chelsea Green, of course, with her Secret Harvest, Piper Niven, and Alba Fire. And during the match, Alba Fire and Piper Niven got ejected from the building, got thrown out, and it led to the outcome. The winner of the bout in 6 minutes and 35 seconds, and new Women's United States Champion, Zelina Vega. She wins the championship tonight. History was made, unprecedented crowning. Oh my goodness. They pulled the trigger and she won the title. Her first singles championship in WWE. As many of you guys know, she was a former women's tag team champion with Carmella. And she also won, well, it was called the Queen's Crown Tournament, but now you can say it officially was the Queen of the Ring. She's a former Queen of the Ring winner as well, but she never won a singles championship in WWE. Never won a singles title in NXT, never won a singles title in WWE until now. for the first time in her career, Zelina Vega is walking out the Women's United States Champion. And I can tell you, the internet exploded. A whole bunch of love for Zelina Vega. It's about damn times coming out, and a lot of people are excited that Zelina finally gets her moment in the spotlight. You know, there was this push about a couple of years ago, about a year or so ago, pushing Zelina to get an opportunity. People thought she should have been the first women's intercontinental champion. Did not happen. Then the U.S. title was up for grabs. People were gravitating to her to get that belt. However, Chelsea Green got it first. No complaints. No complaints. Chelsea deserved to win the title first. She deserved to be the first champion. But now Zelina finally gets her moment in the spotlight. And for me, this was... I couldn't hold my excitement when this happened. Anthony Florio knows it. This is a golden moment for me. So for Zelina, for everything she's gone through in her entire WWE career, everything that she's gone through was worth it tonight. It was paid off in spades. I'm so excited for her. Anthony Florio, this was about, I would say, about a 2.5-star bout. But more importantly, the history-making moment, Zelina Vega, only the second ever Women's United States Champion, as she upends the current champion, well, now former champion, Chelsea Green, by winning the title here tonight.
Special moment, and I know how happy you were, MF. I mean, during the broadcast, I couldn't help but notice you were a little emotional, and I don't blame you, because you've been the biggest advocate for Zelina Vega for the longest time. I mean, you were one of the charter members of that Push Zelina movement. I mean, we were right there with you, but you were the one who spearheaded it and led the way. Even though I followed her journey just as much as you have, going back to her days as Rosita in TNA.
Yes.
When she was a TNA Knockouts tag team champion with Sarita. And as part of that Mexican America
part of LAX.
Yeah, the Mexican American stable with Sean Hernandez and Anarquia a number of years ago. And all the way to where she is now. And this is, without question, this will forever be, unless she gets a bigger moment down the road. For right now, this is without a doubt the biggest win of her career to this point. Biggest. Bigger than winning the tag title with Carmella. Bigger than when she won the Queen of the Ring in Saudi Arabia, October of 2021. This is monumental. I mean, the new Women's United States Champion, and the moment you nailed the broadcast. You nailed it on the broadcast perfectly. We both yell out "Code Red" when she hit the code red. We both yell it out, and then you did the JR. Will it be? Will it be? And then you let out the biggest yes, yes, yes. And then she did it. And then he said, "Let's get the official word." And Mark Nash introduces her as the new champion, and then you come back in and yell out and do the gorilla. History has been made. Unprecedented crowning. And then a few moments later you got choked up, and then I covered for you, and I'm like, hey, and the camera comes back to us at ringside, and you'll see MF get a little choked up, and then MF's like, oh man, I'm so damn happy for her. She deserves it, man. And I'm like, hey, I'm right there with you. Great journey. What a story. But to the business at hand here, this was not a very long match, but they worked together to make every minute count. Surprising title change, but that is what makes it good. If everything was predictable, it would be boring. Oh, the times they are a changing. And we don't talk enough about how Secret Harvest is a great name for Piper Niven and Alba Fire as a duo. They have done such a good job taking minor roles and making them fun. Chelsea Green did a good job getting over for the Code Red, even though Zelina Vega wasn't quite able to get her legs under Chelsea's arms. But doesn't matter. I mean, by default, this is the worst fight of the night because of the timing. It's only a 2.5-star match, but it's a special moment for Zelina Vega, and I know that her pops, who was one of the many people who perished in 9/11. We know that story.
Yeah.
And I can tell, and there's no doubt about it in my mind. Pops is looking down on Zelina right now, saying, "Well done, baby girl. Well done." Special moment. Heck, now I'm getting choked up, man.
Yeah, because it's that kind of a moment, man. Because and I think what also made it is because of what the title is, the Women's United States Championship. There's a little something there that you can't. It just feels right for her to be the one to hold the belt more than anything else, because of everything she's gone through and the road that she has done. And not only that, but she's originally from New York, being a New Yorker, and being her family being from Puerto Rico, and there's been a lot of different things that's been going on with Zelina and everything else. And for this moment to happen for her to happen tonight of all nights, it's without a doubt the best feeling in the world. And that's why I think we're as excited as we are that this happened. So we're gonna move on along. And the next thing we had was a segment. We had Carmelo Hayes and The Miz. And Miz was basically voicing his displeasure, saying, "Well, I didn't get an opportunity to fight at WrestleMania, this and that." Well, guess what? Well, you didn't get a moment at WrestleMania. Well, you got yourself into a post-WrestleMania moment. And the return of Aleister Black.
Oh
yeah. No. Aleister came out, and before you said anything, it was a black mask. Goodbye. See you later, Miz. Welcome back, Aleister. Good to see you back, my friend. And damn, Anthony, it's yours.
Well, another one who benefits from getting out of Guantanamo Bay. Tony Khan, Guantanamo Bay. I mean, escape. He was being held captive by that toy collector turned wrestling promoter, and he was one of those many toys that, he played with for a while, but then eventually he got tired of playing with it, and Aleister revolted, and he took his ball and he left. He said, "Yeah, I can't stay in that hellhole anymore." So, and with Papa H running things, I think brighter days are coming for Mr. Zelina Vega. How about this? How's this for irony? We go from Zelina winning the title to her husband coming back.
Yeah.
How's that for irony?
And think about it this. 1 week ago, they promoted Aleister Black's video, talking about coming back for 25-25. And then the next thing we had, but the thing was, the next thing we had was then we had Zelina Vega in the ring. And that's why we were just like, whoa. So yeah, you can say whatever you want to say. And actually, I want to thank a good friend. Thoughts on the Cena Orton segment? Well, we did talk about it earlier on, but if you want, I'll rehash it very quickly again. We enjoyed it. Me and Anthony actually enjoyed it. We thought it was a good segment, good promo. We're very optimistic because now Cena versus Orton at Backlash in St. Louis. I think it's going to be really good. And I just love the dynamic of the two guys, to say the very least. So, Anthony, just give a quick thought to our friend here.
Absolutely. Look, I'll say what I said earlier. I mean, seeing Cena and Orton interacting, nothing new. We've seen them fight more than almost anyone else in WWE, but we can't help but say it. Seeing them work with a different dynamic like this is interesting. Randy Orton, the babyface, Cena the heel, makes it feel fresh. And it was and I thought it was better than Cena's promo on Raw by a decent margin. And a lot of people were very critical of this rivalry back in the day because it was getting shoved down our throats for the longest time. Mm-hmm. But now, but it's been long enough, and we have a reason to care about this rivalry. And like I said earlier, it's the most excited I've been for a Cena Orton match since their very first one at SummerSlam 2007. Maybe even bragging rights 2009.
And actually, same. I just feel like feuds goes more personal, getting families involved in stuff. That's just me. And for the most part, I agree. I think me and Anthony will agree with that as well, because the rivalries that we have seen has exploded to points where, yes, whenever you bring that personal level, I think there was the only time where it kind of went a little off the rails was, and I think you may agree with this, Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton on the lead up to WrestleMania. That one week on Smackdown where they went a little too personal and it didn't work. At least in our minds, it didn't work. So
yeah, the Chicago show, right?
Yeah, the Chicago show. Yes.
Yeah.
So definitely, whenever you bring personal, into it, it does make the stories more better. So absolutely, total agreement on that. So
all right, let me get into the segment here.
Yeah, go ahead, Anthony.
Yeah, this was as simple as it gets for a return segment, but it worked because Aleister Black's character has never been known as a big talker. If The Miz is his first real rival in WWE, Black will likely score an easy win next week. And oh, by the way, it's been confirmed. Next week, Des Moines, Iowa, Smackdown. Aleister Black, his first WWE match in almost 5 years.
Wow.
When he squares off against The Miz. So I think we all know who's winning that match.
Yeah.
So Miz wearing all white. You notice Miz came out wearing all white? That made for a nice juxtaposition with Aleister Black's dark gear.
Mm.
And you noticed Aleister Black no longer had makeup around his eye. So it doesn't look like WWE will continue that storyline from his last run. So we'll see how that goes. But
I think we're gonna get the Aleister Black from NXT. I really think what we're gonna get is the Aleister Black from the NXT days. And if we get that, oh my God, you get ready. Because he was, I hope they do this right, because that's the one thing that a lot of people are a little concerned about. They're excited that he came back. He's excited that they started nice and fresh for Aleister. But the thing is how are you going to parlay that week in and week out? Will they build off of what they just did tonight? Because this was a great reintroduction of Aleister Black to the WWE masses. And if you remember his days in NXT, that was really, really, really where Aleister really took off. Then we went to the main roster, obviously, previous administration, it didn't work. And that's why he left for that company in Jacksonville, Florida. But, I digress. So let's move on. It was LA Knight versus Drew McIntyre. This was a number one contender spot. So whoever won this gets a shot at the U.S. Heavyweight Championship. Drew McIntyre wins the match in 9 minutes and 40 seconds via disqualification because Damian Priest took out Drew McIntyre. Their feud's not done, but because of Damian getting involved, It costs the DQ finish. Drew wins. He gets the shot at the goals first. So, Anthony, it's yours.
After Nick Aldis made the match earlier, this kicked off the third hour of SmackDown. Oh, by the way, that third hour of SmackDown tonight, commercial free. How about that? The great thing about LA Knight is he is the kind of worker who can go at any pace and make it work. He can match speed with high flyers, and he can play the power game with guys like Drew McIntyre. It allows him to work at any pace, which is a valuable skill. They worked a methodical match and made sure the big moments and sequences stood out. But there were moments when it felt like they could have used to move a bit quicker to keep the crowd's energy high. Having multiple DQ finishes on the same show is never ideal, but this was clearly done to set up a multi-man match for the United States Heavyweight Championship. So we should find out next week what will happen at the Backlash pay-per-view. McIntyre's entrance took place in picture-in-picture during the final commercial break of the show. And I'm going to give it a solid 3 stars for the effort. So not much more to say. MF, your thoughts?
Yeah, 3 stars, no doubt about it. Solid matchup, to say the very least. It was good for what it was worth. I think everything played well, and yeah, the obviously the DQ finish was probably justified and everything else because Damian still has that little bit of that sour grapes over what McIntyre did to him at WrestleMania. So obviously they're gonna play that narrative up. And obviously, with everything going on, fine by me. All right, so only one thing was announced for next week, which was Aleister Black versus The Miz. And it did lead us to the main event of the evening. For the WWE Tag Team Championships in TLC. Tables, ladders, and chairs. It was the Street Profits, Motor City Machine Guns, and DIY winners of the bout in 22 minutes, 30 seconds, and still the WWE Tag Team Champions, the Street Profits. Oh my freaking God. This was insanity. 4.25, 4.5. I can't give it the full 5. 5 more minutes or a few more spots, you're getting the 5 from me. But this was amazing. I get it. I know a lot of people were yelling and screaming that this match should have been out on the WrestleMania card. After what we saw tonight, absolutely this should have been on WrestleMania. But you know what? I'm not mad because we needed a big main event and we got one. This lived up to the hype. This was absolutely amazing. And now if you're the Street Profits, this ends any argument. Motor City Machine Guns, you're going to the back of the line. DIY, you're going to the back of the line now. You're out of the title picture altogether, at least for a little bit, because the Street Profits successfully defends it in a banger of a match. Without a doubt, for me, this is the SmackDown match of the year. Like, Monday Night Raw had theirs not too long ago. Like, their Raw was the best Raw of the year. Like, without a doubt, best Raw of the year, best Raw on the Netflix era. And now SmackDown turns around, and I'm going to call it. This is the SmackDown fight of the year. At least for me, SmackDown TV fight of the year. I don't know how you're going to top this. That's how damn good this match was. Anthony Florio, 4.5 to 4.75, can't pull the 5, but SmackDown Fight of the Year, abso-freaking-lutely, this gets it tonight.
I know you said you can't pull the trigger, MF, but I don't care. I'm pulling it anyway. I thought this was a 5-star classic. I mean, oh my goodness. Oh. First things first, gotta pull another funny moment here. MF, I want to let you know my ears are still ringing from all those "oh my gods" you did during the match. How many of those did you do during this?
Oh my god, at least 4 or 5, at least.
Well, I know 2 of them that stood out. When Montez Ford did that tope con hilo on the Ciampa through a table. Oh my god! But of course the biggest one was when Montez Ford and Tommaso Ciampa basically recreated the Jeff Hardy and Edge spot from 17.
Yes.
Only it was through a table. When that hit, MF just let it out, and then when the Profits won the match, when Ford pulled down the belts, you yell out "It's over," and then we both stand up and give a standing ovation because that's how much we appreciated the efforts of all 6 men in this. This was this generation's version of Edge and Christian, the Hardys, and the Dudleys. No question. We had it. We were fortunate enough to have Edge and Christian, the Hardys, and the Dudleys. For this generation, you got your version of it here tonight. Oh man, where do I start? Okay. Like MF said, tonight's main event, arguably the kind of match that should have been on the WrestleMania card. Yes, I preached about that. I will admit it, and I still do. But the Smackdown audience was treated to a triple threat TLC match between 3 of the top teams in WWE. Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins, Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley, and Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa have had many encounters in recent months. So putting them all in the ring for a high-risk match like this was a great way to end the post-WrestleMania episode of SmackDown. This match was given a lot of time, and since there were no commercials, it felt like even longer. The bar has been high for TLC matches for a long time, but these 3 teams did an admirable job. There was no standout performer in this one because all 6 competitors were giving everything they had. We saw some creative spots, especially when it came to how chairs were used. Montez Ford. Now, MF, do you remember the Good Friends, Better Enemies pay-per-view?
Yes.
Diesel, Shawn Michaels, our match?
Yes, I remember.
Do you remember when Diesel literally used Maurice Mad Dog Vachon's prosthetic leg during that match?
Yes, I remember. He actually ripped it, actually grabbed him over, put him down, and then ripped the prosthetic leg out. And I remember Vince McMahon absolutely lost his mind, if you remember that.
Of course.
That he did that.
Of course. Yeah. Reason I say that was because Montez Ford basically did the same thing. Only it obviously wasn't Maurice Mad Dog Vachon. It was a fan. Montez Ford used a fan's prosthetic leg as a weapon at one point, and it got a huge pop from the crowd. It is so hard to find a single thing to criticize because everything in this match worked and made everyone look awesome. All 3 teams had moments when it looked like they would win, but in the end, it was Montez Ford who took down the titles to claim the win. Seeing Tommaso Ciampa without that epic beard without what I call that Sasquatch beard. Seeing him without that, it's going to be so hard to get used to. Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins, they wore gear that paid tribute to Shawn Michaels, which was a nice touch in Texas. The way Dawkins ran Gargano's head into the ring post was nasty. The spot with Shelley's head being wrapped with a chair and Gargano hitting it with another chair was nuts. MF cringed at that moment. And then Dawkins putting a hanging Ciampa through a table with a spear from a ladder. Clear spot of the night. We've seen that spot. If that spot looked familiar, that was WrestleMania 17. Edge and Jeff Hardy. That epic spear. Jeff Hardy was dangling, trying to grab the belts. Edge spears the life out of him. And we got it, and we basically saw a recreation of that spot tonight with Angelo Dawkins and Tommaso Ciampa. Only this time there was a table involved. And there were points, there were several times during this match where you could hear MF say, I'm done. I'm not even believing this match right now.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm right there with you. But nonetheless, I'll sum it up. I'll sum it up simply by saying this. This is the TV match of the year. It's the TV match of the year. The Street Profits defeating Motor City Machine Guns and DIY in an incredible half-hour plus TLC match. One of the greatest WWE TV matches in modern history. And you can make an argument that this is most certainly a match of the year candidate. Right up there with the 2 triple threat matches we saw at WrestleMania. Seth Rollins, CM Punk, Roman Reigns, and the Women's World Championship with Io Sky, Bianca Belair, and Rhea Ripley. Those right now are my current 3 front runners for WWE Match of the Year for 2025 so far. With all due respect to MF's 4.5 to 4 3/4, I can understand that. But for me, I'm sorry, I cannot help but pull the trigger. I cannot give this anything less than 5. That's how much I enjoyed this match.
I kind of feel like yes, but the only thing that kind of like caught me was kind of more or less the time, because 22 minutes seems like yes, but I kind of felt like we didn't really get like. I feel like it could have gone a little extra more. That's why I'm kind of like,
fair enough.
But like we said, we don't have to agree all the time. Like
No.
you know, like to each his own. But that's how I felt about it.
It was 5 to me. To me,
Okay.
that was a 5-star classic. Shakespearean drama, and like I said, it's the TV match of the year.
Yes.
And it's also in the running for overall match of the year, with Seth, Roman, and Punk, and Io, Rhea, and Bianca. Those are the 3 front runners right now.
All right.
So, man, oh man, what a match! 5-star classic for me. Oh my god! Overall review.
Yes, and you lead off.
Okay. The post WrestleMania episode of Smackdown outdid Monday's Raw in both in-ring action and storyline developments. A handful of potential matches for Backlash were set up. Aleister Black's return put his first feud into motion. Los Garza and Fraxium put on a fun show. Zelina Vega won the Women's United States Championship in a surprising outcome. And John Cena and Randy Orton did a great job setting up their upcoming title bout. However, the biggest highlight of the night was the main event TLC match with the Street Profits, DIY, and Motor City Machine Guns. All 6 of these men are highly gifted performers, so it should surprise nobody to find out they put in a great match with a lot of fun spots. In fact, the TLC match we got might have been better than everything we saw at WrestleMania this week in terms of excitement. The best match of the week capped off what might have been the best episode of SmackDown in 2025. It felt like every segment mattered and advanced at least one storyline. First time a 3-hour episode of the Blue Brand felt like it used every minute effectively. I'm going to give this in excess of maybe 8.5, teetering on 9. And that's mainly because of the main event. So 8.5 to 9. SmackDown had the best match, obviously, but Raw had more surprises, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Although SmackDown did have some of their own, but then again, they weren't really surprise because of we knew about most of them in advance because of the dirt sheets and social media. So, but like I said, SmackDown had the better match with the main event, which was better than almost any of the matches we saw on Raw. But Raw had the bigger surprises because they were literally surprises, which we had no idea about.
Yeah.
So, but I am going to give it. I'm going to give it right around that 8.5, right around that 8 to 8.5, maybe even 9. So, very good show. And MF, take a bow for that main event. because we're going to be talking about that for years and years to come.
Absolutely. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go 8.5 to 9. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I thought this was an excellent SmackDown, and like you said, the best SmackDown on this 3-hour format. They figured it out. They figured it out. I don't can't even believe that Triple H and the boys did it, but they did it. I know a lot of people were very concerned after this. I know they cannot wait to get back to the 2-hour format, and they're about a month away. They're about a month and a week away from going back to the 2-hour format. But damn it, I mean, this was amazing. So nothing more to say. We're gonna give a quick thought, preview of TNA Rebellion that's going down from the Galen Center. That's going down this Sunday. So we got 9 matches altogether, 10 matches actually. There is a pre-show fight, Fatal Influence versus Li Ying Lee, Zaya Brookside, and Rosemary. But here's the main card, guys. And we start out with the Ultimate X. For the X Division Championship, the champion Moose versus Casey Navarro versus Leon Slater versus Matt Cardona versus Sidney Akeem versus, and believe it or not, from Triple A, El Hijo de Pequino is back. As you guys know, there was the merger that happened not too long ago where WWE acquired AAA. That happened at WrestleMania weekend. And El Hijo de Mequino is literally going to TNA and is starting to work there. Oh my God. All right. X Division title fight. Man, this can go a number of different ways. I don't know. First on, Leon Slater is definitely a favorite. I would love to see El Hijo de Mequino win the title. But I kind of feel like Moose is going to win this. I don't know why. I feel like Moose is going to win it. So, Anthony, I'm going to go with Moose. It's yours.
MF, this will be Moose's toughest title defense to date with so many variables and flying limbs. The Ultimate X match provides not only entertainment, but the unexpected. There is a wide variety of talent and skills that Moose will have to fight through in order to retain his title. Plus, Moose is afraid of heights and may not even be able to climb his way to grabbing the belt. Matt Cardona, if he is willing to do more TNA dates, is always a strong contender to win it. El Hijo del Velkingo is dangerous in the air. How cool would it be for him to defend a TNA title at that Worlds Collide event in June? Leon Slater has been fighting his way up the rankings for months, and I think is the most likely to grab the belt on Sunday if Moose cannot. You do make a great point about Moose retaining. He should, and end up losing the title in a one-on-one match. Moose has done a lot to show dominance in the division, so having a person take him down one-on-one would be more impactful than someone just grabbing the belt in a multi-man match. But if I'm going to be honest with you, MF, I'm pulling for Leon Slater. I want to see Leon Slater get it. That's how I feel. My gut tells me to go with Moose to retain, but my heart is telling me to go with Leon Slater to win the title. So I'll leave it at that. So let's move on to our next match.
Well, the next match would have been Elijah, but he's wrestling somebody. We don't know who it is yet. So yeah. we're gonna table that. We'll give you our thoughts about that match when we do the review on Tuesday night. But the next match that we are going to do, we need to talk about. Falls Count Anywhere in the building. Mustafa Ali going one-on-one with Mike Santana. Anthony, it's yours.
It's got to be Santana here. It has to be. I can't say enough good things about both Mike Santana and Mustafa Ali. They are both at the top of their game, inside and outside of the ring. I love how they are both going for it in their promos and matches. And it's had its moments where I enjoyed the intensity. Both men are doing the best with what they have been given, and the matches are delivering. This one will as well. So I'm going to go with Mike Santana to win this match. But would I be surprised if Ali stole this one? Would it be like a shortcut or something? No, maybe. We'll see. But I got to go with Santana in this one. So MF, your thought?
I'm gonna go Mike Santana as well. I agree. I think that they're gonna win it. I think it's gonna be a great matchup. And yeah, whenever you get these false count anywhere fights, oh man, they're so unpredictable. They literally could go anywhere, and that's what I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be literally anywhere in this one. So we'll see. Next up, we got is Ace Austin and the Rascals, Trey Miguel and Zachary Wentz with Sean Waltman in their corner. They're going to go up against the System. Brian Myers, Eddie Edwards, and JDC with Alicia Edwards. I'm going to go with Ace Austin and Rascals. I think they're going to win this one. I don't know why. I kind of feel like with everything going on, look, I think they deserve the win. They deserve it more than anything else. So give me the Rascals and Ace Austin to win this. Anthony, it's yours.
Yeah, I'm going with the Rascals and Ace Austin to win this match as well. I wouldn't be surprised if Sean Waltman ends up being a difference maker. So not much more to say. Let's move on to our next match.
Fatal 4-way for the TNA Women's Knockout Tag Team Championship. And it is Heather and Ash by Elegance versus Metaphor from NXT, Jakara Jackson and Lash Legend versus Spitfire, Jody Threat and Danny Luna versus Tatum Paxley and Gigi Dolan of NXT. Anthony, it's yours.
Well, Heather by Elegance really got the Elegance brand into a pickle by panicking her way into making this match. And I think NXT has its best odds yet to take a TNA title with 2 out of 4 teams looking to become the first NXT talent to win a TNA championship. Although I could see the Elegance brand clawing out a win by the skin of their teeth, I also cannot deny that it just may be time for NXT to get its first TNA championship. If an NXT team wins, I'm leaning more towards Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson getting the nod.
Metaphor, yep.
However,
I disagree with that.
However, I do think the Elegance brand is going to find a way to retain. Barely. Keyword barely.
Yeah.
I mean, I would love to see an NXT team, I think the biggest impact that this crossover can do is if an NXT talent wins one of their titles. Maybe it could happen here. You never know. It could.
Yeah.
But I just got this feeling that Heather and Ash are going to find a way to win. And barely. Like I said, barely. So I'm going to go with Heather and Ash, but keep an eye on the Meta Girls, MF.
Yeah, I agree. I think Heather and Ash will win it, but I do have the Meta Girls to possibly win it all. So I totally agree with everything you said. TNA International title on the line. Steve Maclin going one-on-one with Eric Young. It has to be Maclin. He just won the title. There's no way you make him drop the belt that fast. I think a lot of people would be really upset if Maclin loses to Eric Young. So give me Maclin to win it. Florio, go.
Yeah, Maclin just won the title as part of the Unbreakable event during WrestleMania week. And like you said, I too do not expect a brand new champion of a brand new title to lose in his first defense. I do, however, expect shenanigans. Eric Young has been trying to recruit Steve Maclin for a while now since taking over the Northern Armory. They've shown intense respect for each other, but neither man will budge on their stance. Eric Young wants Steve Maclin on his side to reign over TNA, whereas Maclin wants to do things the right way. Maclin doing things his way will probably result in him having to fight off the numbers game with Travis Williams and Judas Icarus, always looking around to help Eric Young. It will not be easy, but I see Steve Maclin retaining the title. I think the bigger question, though, is MF. Will this be the end of Maclin and Young showing respect to one another? Think about that. So I'm going with the winner and still international champion, Steve Maclin.
All right. Next up we do have is the TNA World Tag Team titles on the line. The Hardys versus the Nemeths.
The Hardys definitely have the psychological advantage after the Nemeths' visit to the Hardy compound. With the Hardys not only are inside of the Nemeths' heads, but they also have a lot of momentum in their desire for revenge. Of course, anger can be blinding. If the Hardys are only seeing red, they may not catch on to some of the cheap tactics from the Nemeths. MF, I think the stage is set for a title change here, with the feud continuing for another month or so. So I'm going to call it right here. Winners and new TNA World Tag Team Champions, Nick and Ryan, the Nemets. What says
All
you?
right. I actually think it's going to happen. Yeah, I agree with that. I think the Hardys lose the titles. So, yeah, Nemesis wins. They'll be the new tag team champions. 2 matches left. It's Tessa Blanchard going one-on-one with Masha Slamovich for the TNA Knockouts title. Tessa wins the title. Flat out, no deniement. Let's not kid ourselves here. This is the moment where Tessa finally becomes the champion. Really not much more to say. Anthony, it is yours.
Since Masha Slamovich won the Knockouts World Championship at Bound for Glory, Tessa Blanchard has been making her life hell, even when Slamovich is taking on other competitors. Tessa Blanchard returned to TNA with a bang and hasn't stopped going after what she believes is hers. Slamovich will not just be defending her title Sunday night, she will be defending TNA from Tessa Blanchard. Although I think Slamovich is ready and able to retain, I do think there is a very good chance that Blanchard takes or maybe even steals a victory here to cement the fact that she's back in TNA to be dominant. And I'll tell you right now, when Tessa wins the title, Michael Bullock is not going to be too happy about this because he is not a fan of Tessa Blanchard whatsoever. So
no. And the thing is, Tessa's background or her, off the court or outside the ring has really drew the ire of a lot of people, not just Michael Bullock, but also quite a few people around the wrestling community. So no doubt.
But regardless, the winner and new TNA Knockouts champion, Tessa Blanchard. Main event time.
Triple threat for the TNA World title as it's all ego. Ethan Page from NXT, Frankie Kazarian, and the reigning champion, Joe Hendry. Man, I want Joe to win this, but I think the injury itself may be the moment that gives Frankie Kazarian finally the moment that he's been looking for. I think we're going to have a new TNA World Heavyweight Champion, and I think Frankie Kazarian wins the gold. I don't know why. I feel like he's probably going to backdoor his way to the title, but I honestly think, and I honestly believe, and this is just my personal thought, I don't think Joe Hendry gets involved in the pin. I think Frankie Kazarian pins all ego Ethan Page, and I think that's why, and I think Joe Hendry loses the title without being involved in the decision. I think that to protect Joe Hendry, to give Frankie the moment, that's why I think all ego is there to be the one to eat the pin. So I think that's what's going to happen. Frankie Kazarian wins the TNA Heavyweight Championship because he pins all ego Ethan Page. I don't believe Joe Hendry is involved in the decision at all. Anthony, it's yours.
I'm looking forward to the action of this match, and I'm very curious to see what the result ends up being. The build for this match, though, has been very random to me, and I don't feel overly invested in it at all. You know how much I love Joe Hendry. You know that. And Bullock too. But let's face it, MF, if I'm going to be honest with you, his world title reign has been underwhelming. And I don't blame Joe Hendry for that at all. I think it was a combination of when he won the title and everyone being extremely excited for what was going to happen next. And when nothing earth-shattering happened right after Henry's title win, things cooled off. I'm not really a fan of Frankie calling his shot so early for this match. He lays on his heel shtick so strong that it would have made more sense for him to call this shot either during the match or just as it was starting. I know that Rebellion is happening in his home state of California, so it may have helped ticket sales a bit. Storyline-wise, though, it just doesn't sit right with me. I feel the same way about Ethan Page being inserted into this match. I'm very sad to complain about Ethan Page being featured in an important bout, but he kind of just showed up and got put into the match. Page is too good of a talent in and out of the ring to be thrown into something willy-nilly. The Henry injury angle will play a factor in the match. I don't know if he's really dealing with an issue or not out of character, but it was clear that the storyline part of things kicked off thanks to Elijah yanking on his arm. So what is the plan for that? Will Elijah get involved in the main event? Will Elijah cost Henry the title? Will Elijah help Henry retain the title? Maybe Elijah doesn't show his face at all. No matter what, though, I think it's paramount that something big happens with Joe Henry and with the result of this bout. Rebellion is a huge show, but Slammiversary in Long Island only a few months away, and they will be looking to fill another big venue with that show. Joe Henry needs to play a huge part in that show, and whatever he is doing will probably get kick-started on Sunday night at Rebellion. With all that said, I expect the main event to deliver inside the ring, and I'm going to say that some kind of plan will be shown for whatever is happening going forward. Frankie Kazarian has been with TNA since day one. He is a TNA original. And to me, he is the best wrestler to never win the TNA Heavyweight Championship. And I think he is due for this. I love Joe Henry. I do. But I think this is where his run comes to an end here. I'm gonna make the call myself. I'm gonna agree with you, MF. Winner and new TNA World Heavyweight Champion, the king of TNA, Frankie Kazarian. But I would not at all be surprised if Joe Henry were to somehow retain. I wouldn't.
All right, and that's it. We're done. So thank you guys as always for watching the show. And I saw a lot of viewers here tonight, man. I think we might have a record on our hands, Anthony. I'm just gonna give you a little bit of a heads up. Thank you to all the fans for coming out, watching, listening. It is an honor and a privilege, and I'm overwhelmed by the response. We were peaking at double digits, Anthony, at one point here tonight. So nice. That's how amazing this is. Thank you. As always, you guys are the best fans in the world, and we're gonna get to do this again on Tuesday night after NXT around 10:30. Go to Anthony's channel. We'll pin it on the Tone 25 on YouTube and StreamYard.com. That's where you'll get to see myself, Anthony Floyo, and our other colleague, Michael Bullock. And we'll be reviewing Monday Night Raw. And we're also going to be reviewing NXT. And we're going to be talking about this Rebellion, this TNA Rebellion event as well. So with that said, and then Thursday night is a very special edition of TXN Sports World. We're going to recap the NFL Draft. And then 1 week from tonight, we do it all over again with another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk, where we do TNA Impact and Smackdown Live reviews. So thank you for your questions. Always leave it. You might be on the show, and Anthony and myself or Michael Bullock, whenever he's here, we might answer it. So please, guys, as always, we appreciate the love and the support. Thank you. Like the video, leave a comment, share with all your friends on all the social media platforms around the world. We'll see you all on Tuesday night. For Anthony Floyo, I'm Michael Fletcher, saying so long, everybody.
Goodbye.